Hey guys, this is wersderf and welcome to episode 9 of World of Tanks for Beginners. It's been a long time, but I'm back anyways. So this episode is about spotting and camo. In a few short moments, I'm going to send you guys over to some gameplay in a training room with my friend Grumpy Golem to demonstrate, to better demonstrate the effects of camo and spotting. But first, I want to explain how spotting works. So, you can see really easily in your garage the view range of your vehicle. And I'm going to use my ELC AMX in this example because this tank is in the gameplay that I'm going to be playing with Grumpy. So the view range here, 360. You can also go into vehicle details and it'll tell you 360 meters. That depends on the turret of your vehicle. The ELC does not have a upgradable turret, so it's always going to be 360. You can change the view range or increase it by giving your commander recon, which increases the view range, or your radio operator, which my commander in this case is acting as the radio operator, and you can get situational awareness. Other ways you can increase your view range of your vehicle: you can mount vents, improve ventilation 5% to crew skills. You can give your tank premium consumables like food. You can also give equipment like these binocular telescopes that increase the view range by 25%, but only if you're not moving. You can also get coated optics. My T-34-3 have coated optics. They look like this right here, which increase my view range up to 10%, and you don't have to be stationary for that. Also, if your commander is not at 100% crew level, then your view range will be below the tank's view range. Once it's at 100%, then it's at its full potential for that vehicle until you give it equipment, consumables, or perks. Brothers in Arms also increases view range. So how spotting works in World of Tanks is that it takes into account the view range of your vehicle and the camo of your opponent's vehicle and the distance between yours and their vehicle. And the best way to explain this is by looking at the World of Tanks wiki. So I already have it pulled up here. If you can read this, that's great. If you can't, that's fine. View range is the theoretical maximum distance that your vehicle's commander can see, and depends on the vehicle's turret, like I said. View range enhancing equipment increases the view range. However, there's no 500 meter limitation on spotting range. Spotting range I'll explain in just a moment. However, some of the biggest view ranges in some of the tanks are the tier 10s, like the M48 Patton, the M60, and the Waffentrigger E100 that can get nearly 600 meters of view range. Now, spotting range is something that is different than view range. Spotting range is the maximum distance at which you will detect/spot an enemy tank if you have line of sight. So the minimum spotting range is 50 meters. Any tank within 50 meters of you, no matter what is in your way, if you don't have a line of sight on them, no matter what, if a tank is within 50 meters of you, you will spot them. This is called a proximity spot, because you don't need a line of sight, as you can read here. So you can spot enemies around corners. And the maximum spotting range is you can never spot a vehicle further away than 445 meters of spotting range. So spotting range is not a fixed value particular to your tank. Um, I'm reading it right off here, but depends on the target you are spotting, its current position and situation. So this formula right here that's in the wiki, spotting range equals effective view range, which is the view range of your vehicle, taking into account the equipment, the consumables, the perks on your crew, and of course the vehicle's turret and the commander skill. Minus, parentheses, your effective view range minus 50 times the camo factor. And the camo factor is like how spottable the enemy tank is. And I'll show you some examples of some camo factors in just a moment. But if your spotting range to the vehicle equals or exceeds your distance to that vehicle and you have a line of sight, or if the vehicle is within the minimum spotting range, you will spot it. Otherwise, it remains hidden to you unless spotted by another vehicle on your team that you're on radio communication with. Okay, so that's a lot of information. It makes almost no sense if you don't have an example of it. But you can see here, this right here, this is tanknumbers.com, by the way. I use this for a lot of different things. This calculator function is a very nifty tool to figure out, like, is it worth it to buy a rammer for the ELC? And you can click it and it'll load up. It'll tell you how fast is the reload, or the rate of fire, and the DPM. And then you can also, I don't know, if you want to soup up your ELC to crazy reload speed, you can put all the equipment and perks that you so desire to test it. So, but this little box here shows the camo values. And since this is a light tank, it has the same camo factor as when it's moving or when it's stationary. So as you can see, stationary is 0.219 and moving is 0.219. So it's the same. The larger camo factor, the better. If you have a larger camo factor, then you have a better chance of not getting spotted. As you can see, going back to this formula, the larger the camo factor here, the more likely it is going to overmatch your enemy's effective view range. So as you can see, firing 0.052. That's a much smaller camo factor, and the camo goes even farther down when the vehicle is moving and firing. So I'll be showing this all in a gameplay. It's a lot of words and a lot to comprehend right now. Also, something that is taken into account is your bush cover or your camo. So if you're hiding in a bush, you're gonna have a better camo factor than if you weren't in a bush. So all this craziness, and we're gonna go back to World of Tanks. I'm gonna throw some gameplay to you guys. Hopefully, once I explain all this to you again, while showing it to you visually, you will be able to understand better. So, I'm gonna throw you some gameplay. See you in a bit. Here we are, out, and we're gonna do some field testing. Here I have the Grumpy Golem. He's gonna be helping me learn about camo.
Hey yo.
So I'm in my ELC, my little light tank, and he is in his tier 10 medium tank, the FE4202, and he is going. He's in a much larger tank, but with my binocular telescope, I should have a very similar view range as Grumpy. So let's get right to it. I have a basic scouting position on the one line of Pro Havorka, and I have a nice bush that I'm hiding in, and I have my binocular telescopes activated. So we're gonna have JD move towards us and see when we spot him, and if if he'll spot us before we get him. So go ahead, JD, move forward. There you go. Spotted him. JD, did you spot us?
Yep. Oh, spotted you? No, I did have my sixth sense go off, so
Okay,
that's why
keep
I'm not
keep
moving.
keep moving towards me and tell me when you spot me, okay?
You spotted again. I guess I popped off the radar there for a second.
Spotted me yet?
Spotted you.
All right, so JD needed to be about 150 meters from me and my bush in order to spot me. This is one of the big things in Camo in World of Tanks is that you can use bushes to hide behind um, in order to hide. And we're gonna reset, and I'm gonna show you what happens if I decide to fire and what it does to the camo. We're gonna have Grumpy do the same thing, except I'm gonna fire at him as soon as I see him, um, and we'll see what happens. Once again, tell me once you spot me, okay? Go ahead and move up.
All right.
So I just spotted him, and I took a shot. He sees me, okay. So that's at 350 meters. It doesn't matter if I'm in a bush or not. If I fire while the bush is transparent like this, he will spot me. So we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to move back from the bush once I get spotted. All right, we're going to reset, and this time I'm going to move away from the bush and see if it affects how we get spotted. So go ahead and start moving up. Spotted?
Nope, can't see you.
Nope, can't see us. So as soon as we move back away from the bush and it's full color again, um, we can fire without getting spotted. Can you see us yet?
Nope. Still. Oh,
He,
there we go.
there we go. It takes 100 for him to spot us in the bush. It takes him to get within 150 meters, which is awful close. Um, Obviously, I don't have sixth sense, but this is one of the biggest things in for the spotting mechanics. Um, in the garage, it'll tell you your view range, and you can go on websites. I'll be linking to a website that you can calculate this kind of stuff. But the view range that
From right here.
he's even within 150 meters, and you can't see me. So the view range you see is not every tank within that range you're not going to spot. It has to take into camo, and there are three types of camo values. There is stationary vehicles, like I am right now. There are firing vehicles that are stationary and firing, and then there are moving and firing camos or camo values. The first is the most camoed. The second is second most camoed, and the third is the least camoed. Light tanks are going to have the best camo in general, and then it goes from medium tanks to tank destroyers, depending, and then artillery, and then heavy tanks generally have the worst camo because they have a large profile. So we're going to do some more tests. We'll be back in just a moment. So here we are again. We switched spots. Grumpy is now the light tank, and I am the spotting medium tank. He is going to drive across this line out in front of me and show everyone, you guys, that when he fires, he loses a lot more camo than if he's moving. He just brought up a good point, actually, that most light tanks keep their camo value when they're moving and when they're stationary. They have the same camo value. But the difference is when they start firing, then stuff goes downhill. So we're gonna have him drive across. Let's say get about to 5, Grumpy, and then fire towards me. Okay. All right. See how far away he is. Now go ahead and start driving around, and then fire on the move. I can't see him, and he's moving around, and we're gonna see what happens when he fires. There he fires, and that's at 384 meters. So this is another example of the fundamentals of spotting people. When you're firing, you're gonna get spotted easier than if you weren't firing. So this is something to keep in mind. You could see that actually that he just disappeared for a second, and then as soon as he fired, he got spotted again. This is something to keep in mind at the start of games when there are a lot of tanks that are spotted right off the bat, and you want to take some pot shots. It might not be the wisest thing. And now he is actually out of my view range, and he's firing at me, and I can't see him. So that was episode 9. Hopefully, you understood what I was laying out. View range can be very complex, even for experienced players. It's something that not too many people understand completely, and to understand it is a huge advantage for someone starting new. So next episode 10, is going to be about armor and penetration, how shells penetrate and angling of armor and all that jazz. It's going to be a lot of information, very important. So I'll see you next time. Peace, love, and joy. Hey guys, this is wersderf, and welcome to episode 8 of World of Tanks for Beginners. And in this episode, I will be going over artillery. And this is going to be different from the previous episodes when I went over heavy tanks and medium tanks. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching anyone who has not played artillery before, or people that have